here on Facebook. Guys, thank you so much for joining. This is the Info Arcade, Info Cascade. We do it every month. It's our live monthly podcast. And of course, joining me as always is Blake and Nate. Say what's up, fellas.
Happy Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
On a Friday.
You guys are super quiet, so let me turn down the music and turn you guys up. Hold on. Hold on, boys.
I apologize. You may notice that we have our weekly get set up this
All right. You guys go ahead and talk real quick.
We're
There we go.
working out the kinks, but
There we go. You guys talk real quick.
How you doing?
Hey. What's up?
Oh, nothing. I
Oh.
actually did manage to kill the monster right before we started. Like,
Oh,
literally
nice.
Exactly.
So
before we
they had a
started.
challenge. I was getting things set up, and they actually said, "Hey, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna try to see if we can finish this basically challenge in Monster Hunter." And I said, "Okay, good luck, like whatever." And I guess it worked. So
I single-handedly beat a thing that is many levels below me in a short amount of time.
I'm proud of you.
I too played today, but
Yeah.
a different one.
Anyway,
Hey, they're about to start a new event. Or it's gonna have pumpkins, and you're gonna be able to get special armor, and every event quest will be available. It's gonna be a lot of fun, I'm sure.
Okay. I
That's
actually
crazy.
want to know if it's starting on.
It starts tonight. Let's see, what time is it UTC right now?
what time is it UTC
Currently-
right now?
3 UTC, so 3:30 UTC. So, yeah, that means it started 3.5 hours ago.
Yes, indeed. Ew.
Which means as soon as I get home, I'm probably going to be grinding.
Grinding on that. So, real quick, we'll get through some housekeeping, some what have you guys been doing lately stuff. So, yeah, real quick, what's been up, guys? What have you guys been playing lately?
I mean, I've been getting into Monster Hunter World and more. I've also been playing the Magic the Gathering Arena beta. Nate was there for that.
Jeez.
I'm thinking about streaming it, but I gotta find the right time to do it.
Gotcha.
And I have been playing basically Destiny and Monster Hunter Double Cross because I found out there's way more to do than I thought in Double Cross. So
Double Cross is an incredibly dense game.
no, it's even meatier than I thought. Basically, I found an entire half of a single player campaign that I never played. Hold on, let me turn up my dang mic again. Okay, here is this better?
Yeah, I can hear you. How about that?
Okay, good. Okay, so basically, there's an entire second half to the single player mode. It's not G rank, it's just regular high rank. For those of you who don't play Monster Hunter, there's 3 individual ranks. There's low rank, then there's high rank, then there's G rank. Low rank is like introductory stuff, high rank is intermediate, and G rank is between advanced and pull your hair out frustrating.
Dang.
So
Okay.
basically, there's just a whole bunch of high rank stuff in single player that I never knew that I needed to do. So I'm just like running through that, like literally running through it. I'm running through thing after thing because I'm going in there with G rank gear hunting lower rank monsters. So I'm just basically killing everything that's allotted like 45 minutes in 2 minutes.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then anything else going on, Nate?
Aside from the whole Destiny update, nothing much.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Jaden, you been playing anything?
You know, other than playing Dead Cells the other day, dude, I honestly haven't played a whole lot of video games lately. However, I will say that I did just pick up Assassin's Creed.
Oh, cool.
And I also just picked up Forza Horizon 4, which, by the way, I did get to play Forza Horizon 4 at E3. And the entire demo is literally that I played at E3 is the first 10 minutes of the actual game. And so when I kicked it on, I was like, oh, yeah, we're going to play some Forza Horizon. It was literally stuff I've already played before. So it was still fun. It was just as fun the second time as it was the first time. It's a really immersive game, super colorful, really great graphics, really bright picture. I mean, honestly, there's really nothing to really scoff at or be disappointed with when it comes to Forza Horizon 4. I'm never really big into racing sims, but this one is in a special place for me. I like it a lot, so I'm really excited to get back into that. As I got that picked up with Xbox Game Pass, because that was available day one. If you have Xbox Game Pass.
Wait, as in the new Assassin's Creed was available via Game Pass? Seriously?
No, I was talking about Forza. Forza is available Game Pass day one.
Okay. I was about to say, wait a minute. Oh, right. Sorry, I was mixing stuff up in my head. My bad.
No, it's all good.
Still, though,
But no, my Xbox Share buddy picked up Assassin's Creed, so shout out to him.
Oh,
Now I'm going to play.
I understand this is the most historically accurate Assassin's Creed ever made.
Is it?
Yeah.
He's being facetious because they have female warriors. Yeah.
They've got the bull of I don't remember. It was one of Hercules styles.
Yeah.
I will say,
and you start
or maybe it
off
was
with a
Jason.
piece of
I don't
meat.
remember.
Just casually just start off with a spear that is just ancient lost technology. Why not?
I will say that with Assassin's Creed, I actually have heard it's the greatest Assassin's Creed to ever be ever made from this series. That is the raging review. It's got really great reviews, and a lot of people are saying it's the best Assassin's Creed game to date.
I would love to do if we could do like a stream series at some point. I don't know, maybe next summer when we don't have, when there are a lot of games coming out. We could sit down. We could play through all the Assassin's Creed games.
Oh god, that will take. Well, actually, if you speed run through, that might only take a few days.
Well,
but like
the games, they're not that long, and you don't need to grind. If you do just the story mission, it's pretty short. The games aren't hard.
I got Brotherhood. Yeah, I think it was Brotherhood for free on Xbox Game Pass a while ago, and I played that thing for oh god, it was probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 hours.
That's pretty long.
Actually,
I don't think
sorry,
I can
not 60, probably 40, something like that. But I went in and I did a lot of stuff. I don't remember if I did everything, but I know
you probably did a bunch
of
while.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
it took a while, but I was having a lot of fun with it because this was when
there's a lot to do in old Roma.
If memory serves, it was one of the first really good games on Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
Or not Game Pass, but ownership thing.
Mm-hmm.
Games with gold. That's it.
Yeah, games with gold.
But basically, yeah, I just played that to death. It was a super fun game, so yeah, I'd totally be in for streaming.
Yeah.
Well, hey, let's.
I have ulterior motives, though, of course, because I still haven't played Black Flag, so I'm a bit behind.
Okay, that's actually disappointing. Black Flag is super fun.
What I will
Also
say
available
about
for
Assassin's
free on
Creed.
Xbox Games with gold at one point.
What I will say
the
about
last one I played was a 3.
Assassin's Creed has really kind of been hit or miss for me. The past several games have been really poor, and so the fact that they're bouncing back and they're saying that this is now the greatest one ever made, that gave me a lot of hope.
People liked Origins, didn't they?
That was long before even 3.
Oh, that's what you mean. So after
Origins was the last one they did in Egypt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one had pretty decent reviews, but it still wasn't as good as some of the original ones like Brotherhood and
Well, it changed the game a lot from what I understand.
And now they're saying
it's an RPG now.
This took a lot of those new mechanics from Origins, but then gave it that really great storytelling that a lot of people liked about the first ones. But as much as I would love to sit here and have us just chat and talk a lot about Assassin's Creed, and also we're probably going to be streaming it right here on the channel, so you guys stay tuned if you guys want to check that out. But as much as we want to talk about that, we do have a limited amount of time to get through all these topics. And so we're going to go ahead and start diving in with our typical 1-ups and blue shells. Starting with 1-ups. 1-ups and blue shells is basically, for you guys just tuning in, is basically us giving kudos or us giving basically, I don't know, metaphorical middle fingers or blue shells. Blue shells are the worst item in Mario Kart to have thrown at you, and we throw them at all the things that are bad news in
Hold on.
in gaming.
Wait.
So we're actually going to start off with 1-ups. We always like to start positive, and like to be pretty positive. And so we're going to start off with our
We always like to be
1-ups,
positive.
man. Yeah.
It will. Like 8 episodes in, we're just now
we
explaining
only-
what
We only like to be positive. Immediately last podcast, Q Jaden having like 3 blue shells.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that was fun.
Dude, I had well, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of blue shells from time to time where it's just like we just want to hate on something. I mean, that happens. That's occasional. It's gonna happen. But we will always start off positive and then tear things to shreds right after. So, if you guys want to go ahead and start off, you guys are welcome to.
Okay. Blake, do you have a 1-up?
I thought I did, and then I forgot what it was.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Well, I guess I can construe this into a 1-up just for the sake of us having a 1-up.
All right.
This is the first time I'm ever glad to say.
Oh, no, I remember.
Oh, you do? Okay, mine first. Then.
Go ahead.
I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about Destiny later, but I will say this is the first time I have ever been happy to actually see a favored weapon of mine get a nerf, at least for one particular mode. For those of you who don't play the game, there's a new mode in Destiny that came with its newest DLC called Gambit. And Gambit is basically 2 teams of 4 fighting against aliens to summon a giant alien, and the first team to kill the other alien wins. However, you can also accrue points and send teammates to the other side to mess with your opponent and temporarily KO the Guardians. The problem is the weapon, the Sleeper Simulant, is broken OP. It one-shots kills any Guardian, period. So people just everywhere roam through the portal, invade other players' teams, and just wipe the whole team with very little, need, because the Sleeper Simulant is basically a line rifle that shoots a giant reflecting laser. So it's just a completely straight line. It had insane aim assist values. So originally they were saying they were going to nerf it by reducing its aim assist, which means that if you're still skilled with it, it's still very usable. But now they're saying that they're going to do that and reduce its ammo collection capacity in the actual thing itself, which means they aren't going to nerf it in the other portions of the game where it can be used, only in this specific portion.
Oh, that's good. That's a pretty good balance for sure.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing, and I'm super happy that they're doing that because I love Gambit, but Sleeper is just cancerous in Gambit, right?
Gotcha. Blake, what was your 1-up?
1-up to Sony.
Okay.
Sony's done a couple of things, but the main one is that they're finally cracking on. I don't know if it's begrudgingly or not.
It's begrudgingly. I know what this is.
But they are now allowing crossplay, at least on Fortnite so far. But
Fortnite is the gateway drug.
if this goes well,
Maybe.
if Sony execs are like, all right, this is fine, maybe we could get it on the other games that I'd like to see crossplay on. At the very least, Minecraft, and it would be nice to see it on
Minecraft and
what's the one with the ball and the cars?
Rocket League.
Yeah.
Rocket League.
Yeah,
That's
just
at least those.
basics. Yeah.
I think those are a must have in terms of software for crossplay. There's no reason there shouldn't be crossplay there, and honestly, your 1-up is actually my blue shell. I mean, I'm glad that Sony is testing this out, but the fact that they are not just saying, "Oh, hey, we're doing crossplay now," and they're saying, "Oh, this is just a beta test. We're going to see how this goes." Sony still isn't all the way buckled into this. They still are still hesitant, I guess.
Yeah.
It's great that they're doing it. Don't get me wrong, but the fact that it's taken this long and they've had to have this much backlash for them to be like, okay, for just Fortnite, we're gonna try it out for a little bit. Like, that's infuriating to me. It's like, dude, just man up, go ahead and say, look, we're going to do it. We know our fans want it. Boom, crossplay, done. That's what they need to
I get
do.
what you're saying. The way I mean, like you said, it's they're changing their stance on it a little bit. That's all that matters to me. The fact that they're doing anything different than because they definitely do not have to.
Right.
Being the current largest platform by a pretty wide margin, they don't have to do that. There's no reason they have to do it, and they're doing it anyway. That's worth it to me, just the fact that they're looking into it.
See, I see this as totally the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm way more on Jaden's side about this. Like, I don't disagree that Sony is the biggest platform currently, and they're probably going to stay that way at least until the next generation or something like that. But basically, I view it as very begrudgingly. Like, people are complaining about it, oh, it's giving bad press. Okay, fine, we'll do this one game, this one time. It doesn't particularly solve the overhanging issue. Like, Microsoft and Nintendo have shown very, very openness to, or a varied amount of openness to actually, making crossplay work. Like, I mean, albeit it takes apparently forever, because I think the Minecraft Play Together update, didn't that come out like literally?
It was like 6 months ago or more. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, and it got announced like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah,
or not 2 years ago.
And
year and a half, something like that. It basically got announced as soon as the Minecraft Switch version was released.
Right. And to wrap up my point, what I'll say is this, and that is, I mean, at the end of the day, what are they going to do? What's going to be the backlash now if Sony backs down and says, you know what, we tried this out, we don't like it? Then, like, we put all this praise towards Sony. Thank you, we're doing crossplay. Like, imagine how infuriated fans are going to be when they're like, oh, it was just a beta test and it didn't work out. Like, that's going to drive people away.
If that happens, I'll blue shell.
And so, but at the same time, I think if they're not taking steps to add more software to this, if they're not adding in Rocket League, if they're not looking to add in Minecraft, I think those are huge misses on Sony's part. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but the whole reason that Sony does not want to do Minecraft crossplay is because you have to log into a Microsoft ID and it has the Microsoft logo on it.
Yeah, but it's a thing. I feel
like get over your pettiness, right? Yeah. It's
like I
don't know.
Okay.
You guys want to move on to the next blue shell of mine?
Sounds
yeah,
good.
Sure, go for it.
Wait, we're doing blue shells now?
Yeah. Well, that was kind of like a transition. We had it both.
I guess that's fair.
So, blue shells, EA's back in the news again.
EA.
Oh, yes.
EA.
So
defying governments.
So I know you guys want to talk about the whole Belgium thing. That's not even my thing, right?
It's not.
Oh, it's not. It's.
Are you going to talk about it a little bit?
I'll let you guys talk about it if you want. But to sum it up, basically, there was a government that said loot boxes are illegal, and EA was like, it's okay. And they still kept it in their games on Belgium servers.
It's actually a little more abrasive than that. Basically, Belgian government started investigating loot boxes, and then they made basically laws to set in place to protect, because they considered it gambling with gambling laws.
Right.
And then EA with said laws, and now they are under criminal investigation in Belgium because.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, and let's take it a step further, right? You want to make the argument. I mean, if you're EA, right, you're fighting back against Belgium. You're going ahead and keeping loot boxes there because you are doing your absolute best to convince that government or to convince people that it's not gambling and that it's not a way for you to rip people off and not a way to steal money, that it's literally like a prize machine, or like when you go to a restaurant and you walk out, you know what I'm talking about. They always had those like prize machines. You put a quarter in, you got a random like tattoo or toy or whatever it was. You know what I'm talking about? But you always got something. You just didn't know what you were going to get. And they're trying to be like, oh, that's all this is. They're just getting extra content. It's just random. It's okay. But then they want to pull stuff like they did with the new FIFA Ultimate Team. I know you guys probably haven't heard about this, but the percentages on FIFA Ultimate Team are just absolutely terrible. They are appalling, actually. The packs. So basically, if you guys don't understand what Ultimate Team is, you can pay real money. This is why EA is so dead set on trying to monetize all of their games with some sort of loot box. That's why they tried to do it with Star Wars, because they've been doing it in Madden and they've been doing it with FIFA forever, right? With Ultimate Team, which is basically like you pay real money or in-game earned currency to buy card packs. And the card packs contain players of all various skill and rarity and things like that. And obviously, the better the rarity, the better the player. Well, they finally revealed what these card packs look like in terms of ranking, right? Yeah. So if you're going to get a rare player, okay, if you want a rare player that is 75. Basically on a scale of 0 to 100, if you want a player as considered a gold player that's a rare player with a 75% or higher ranking, you have a 100% guarantee to get that. Okay, that's still 75%. But then the odds drop dramatically. If you want a player that's 82 and up, it's a 41% chance. So 82 points overall, stats, 41% chance. And then if you want a player that's 85% or more, it's a 4% chance.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So, and then to top it off, the rarest of the rare is a less than 1% chance on the cards.
Yeah.
And so it took a lot of people by surprise. And don't get me wrong, yeah, I'm wearing a black shirt, Kara, so I look like a floating bobblehead. It's kind of funny. How are you, Kara? I hope you're doing well. So my whole thing with that is that you've got to be smarter than that. EA is not helping prove their point here. With the whole Belgium thing, you almost just made things worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're showing that, you know what, loot boxes definitely shouldn't be around. This shouldn't be a thing. If you're going to do microtransactions, I think randomness needs to leave the table. I think it can be I don't think pay to win should be there. I mean, I get that's kind of the whole idea of Ultimate Team. So be it. But give people the ability to pick exactly what they're getting. Don't do these random chances where it's literally worse odds than gambling at a casino. Because it really is. I can go to the casino, I go play a hand of blackjack and have better odds of winning the hand than getting a rare player in a FIFA pack.
I mean, it's about right. When you think about it, a lot of loot box drops are really crazy rare. Like, as someone who plays Magic the Gathering and also grinds for stuff in various games, I play Monster Hunter all the time. So grinding for parts in Monster Hunter is it is basically the whole game. You just want that rare 1% drop so you can complete your armor and whatnot. The difference is you earned that through playing the game. And yeah, there's a chance of luck involved, but at the same time, it's not going to drain your bank. It's just going to be time. So basically, this whole thing, it's just rather disgusting. I mean, EA has always been a really scumming company whenever it comes to microtransactions, this kind of nonsense. But in their sports games, it's just been particularly lucrative, and I really wish that it wasn't. If for no other reason than it just makes the whole industry look bad.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys really want to stop this madness, and you're a Madden player or you're a FIFA player, just stop playing Ultimate Team. It's not worth it. I know it's a lot of fun, but at the end of the day, you're being stolen from. There's really no other terminology. The fact that you are literally having less than a 4% chance of trying to get a rare player, or the highest rarity player, like an epic player, is like less than 1% chance. I mean, that's ridiculous. And it's not cosmetic. It's actually, it's not cosmetic. It's actually like affecting your play.
If I remember right, they don't disclose how much less than 1% it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
they
played
don't.
games where less than one. No, they. I remember looking at it, and they disclosed the percentile chances for the others, but for that one, it just says less than 1%.
Yeah.
They don't specify how much less.
It could be literally a tenth of 1%.
Drop rates are as low as 0.01% for rare items. So,
right,
that could mean anything.
which is unbelievable and not worth it. So, I agree. Okay, so we have another blue shell. Blake, you brought this one up. It kind of took everybody by surprise, and that was all the madness that's happening in California at Telltale Games.
Yeah, it really sucks for the people who work there. The blue shell is actually at Telltale though for me because they let their employees go without any type of severance pay. That's the main thing for me. They could have done this earlier, but they decided to stick with it and try to get other partners. There's a problem in the industry with getting proper working conditions, and Telltale doesn't seem to be one of those places that's good to work for, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of weird things surrounding the Telltale. If you're familiar with him, he does investigative journalism for video games independently. He says he was going to look into the Telltale situation, so I'm interested to see what's going to come out of that, because they use the same engine for years. The whole reason they use that engine because they can produce games cheaply for a long period of time.
Right.
And they used an investment model instead of a studio publisher model. There's some strange stuff that's going on with the way the company is set up, and I want to know what happened. Why didn't the employees get severance pay? What's the story behind that?
So the story behind that is they'd rather keep the money to finish the game that they're trying to finish development on.
Oh, but I heard that maybe they're not actually doing.
Right.
I mean, they did just recently fire some more people.
Well, they're laying off people all the time.
Today it came out there was more.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, it sucks. And now there has been a class action lawsuit by the employees or former employees of Telltale Games. Surprise, surprise, right? Like,
yeah,
of course. Who didn't think that was going to happen, right? I mean, we kind of knew. But with that being said, I'm really anxious to see how all this turns out. Besides, Telltale Games doesn't even have the money to pay on these severance packages, and so now they're being taken to court where they're going to have to pay up. They're already basically about bankrupt, so it's going to be really interesting to see how this all works out. I actually had the privilege of meeting a Telltale employee at E3 this year. Super nice guy. We talked for like an hour and a half while we waited in the Pokemon line. He was like right next to us, and so I got to know him, and he actually worked at Retro prior to going to Telltale. And he left Retro because Retro was turning into literally a huge mess. And he said he still had friends there, and that's how I kind of knew like the new Nintendo project they're working on is not going very well. But more importantly, he said, things were kind of rocky at Telltale, but he really liked it there. And then I saw him just tweet out, the day everything happened. Is like, well, I'm on the market for a new job. Let me know if you guys have anything. And I was like, are you kidding me? And that's when all the news broke out. So it really sucks though, because these employees they didn't see it coming. It was just kind of out of nowhere. So,
well, that's where the lawsuit spawned. If I remember correctly, well, it's not the entire reason, but there's also a law that's set in place that says if there is a mass, firing of employees, there must be a certain time allotted to be warned. If the business knows it's going under, then they can't do this legally. Like, they shouldn't be able to. They have to give their employees, I believe it was 2 months fair
Yeah.
warning, because otherwise it impacts lifestyles negatively and it's completely unfair.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out real quick to Blake Kelly for liking our page over on Facebook. I appreciate it, man. If you guys are tuning in, make sure you guys go ahead, hit that like button, hit that share button, drop a comment, let us know you are here. We greatly appreciate it. Hit those reaction buttons. Let us know if you like it, if you dislike it, if you think something we said is funny. That's how we know those reactions are awesome, so make sure you guys are doing that. Don't forget to also check out our other channels on YouTube and Twitch as well. Anyway, continuing on, I think we have one more blue shell, but it looks like this blue shell may have been deflated, Nate, and that was the whole rumor on the Halo microtransactions. We just talked about EA and their microtransaction stuff, but it looks like rumor is that there was some similar things happening with Halo or their new upcoming game. So why don't you tell us a little bit about kind of what's happening there, Nate?
Well, basically what's come out is 343 have come out and said that Halo Infinite is going to have microtransactions in it. They've also announced that there is going to be a full, and that the PC game will have DRM, which I suppose should come as no surprise. It's disappointing, but still no surprise.
Here's the thing. Games have had DRM on PC since like the mid-2000s. It's not... They've had it for a lot longer than consoles have.
But
so they're more used to it.
Particularly poor, though.
Well, I mean, what makes it particularly poor in this case?
Well, because, see, we don't know to what extent it's going to be. Like, okay, say it's handled fine and it functions just as a normal game should. That's perfectly acceptable. But then there's, like, stuff that's come out recently, like Assassin's Creed Origins is a good recent example where the game was literally so hampered with DRM that people with, massive gaming rigs were all getting, like, overclocked on their PCs just to run the day.
Sure, yeah, but so, that's Ubisoft has a history of that kind of problem. And people who use Denuvo have a history of that type of problem. But
so I just hope it's not Denuvo. I have such a sneaking feeling that it will be Denuvo. And it's just, I don't know why. Hopefully they actually integrate it in a way that's tasteful and that doesn't, like, actually, hurt anything in any visible fashion. But I actually might be more worried about the DRM than I am the microtransactions, because, like, let's face it, Halo 5 was a microtransaction laden thing. Like, it just had so much. It was game breaking. It was pay to win. They say, oh no, it's not pay to win. You can get weapons that had special properties, and you could directly buy card packs for them during special events. That's paying to win. You are paying to buy X of a certain weapon. So it has existed like that for a while. I'll be completely honest and say I really won't care about the entire thing so long as the story is good.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that particularly matters to me, is just that the story is good. I don't like the multiplayer garbage. I just want the story to be good.
I want the gameplay to be good.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So
it's bad, then I'm play it.
I'm pulling up the list here that we have of our previous, I guess, other topics that we still need to get to. We don't have a whole lot more time left, but we do have to rush through a couple of these topics. But I also want to make sure we touch on them. Sony has one more topic to discuss. I would say it's rather small, but it's also kind of a big deal to some, if you got that metaphor, and that would be, or that analogy, and that would be the new PlayStation 1 Classic Mini Console. How do you guys feel about Nintendo following in Sony's footsteps, guys? Or how do you feel about Sony following in Nintendo's footsteps, rather? My apologies.
I will hold everything until they put out the final 20 games and not just a few of them, one of which is already being ported to the Switch.
I have thoughts on this.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Sony has a history of following Nintendo trends.
What? Yeah, absolutely.
So, you have the Nintendo DS and Game Boy lines. You have the PSP line. You have the Wii. You have the PlayStation Move. You have, oh God, what else did they
Mario
do?
Kart, and then
Oh,
Little Big Planet Kart Racer, and then you
All
have
Stars Battle Royale.
oh god, yes,
They don't always hit commercially successful, but usually they're high quality products that do pretty well.
However, I do,
or at least work well.
right. I will say, I've got nothing against the quality of hardware that Sony has put out. But what I will say, if you look back to the PlayStation 1 era, they had a few quality games, but back then it was all about quantity for PlayStation. They were pumping out third-party games and first-party games left and right back then, but there was only a few titles that were truly noteworthy, right? And so far,
I guess that's true. Yeah.
so
Final
far,
Fantasy VII.
yeah,
Oh God, there's the RPG with what is it? Where you're in airships. I don't remember the name of it. Somebody's gonna tell me. And then there's the one where you ride a dragon. Those are the ones that people talk about the most, I think, with a PS1. I didn't own a PS1, so I don't know.
right. Well, and that's the thing,
I'll
though.
look them up and see if I can find.
I will tell you that I've talked about this with several different people, and the feedback I've received from them has all been thus far the same, and that is, man, I like that they're doing a Sony PlayStation Mini. And I'm glad they're putting Final Fantasy VII on it, but Tekken 3, Ridge Racer Type 4, Jumping Flash, I mean, why these games? Why these games? They're only putting 20 titles on them. Those are 5 of the games that they're putting on there. I think Final Fantasy VII would have been great if Nintendo didn't just announce that they were bringing it to the Switch like a week before this announcement even happened. You know?
Okay, I have this pulled up here.
But, I mean, I could think Metal Gear was a great game. That would have been on PS1. But most
Pepsi
fans, most people that I've talked to, most gamers will say, dude, back in that era, Nintendo had it down when it came to games. Like, if you were to be like, hey, we're making a Nintendo 64 Mini and we're making a Sony Mini console, right? It would be so much easier to name 20, 25 titles that had to be on an N64. And, like, you could easily just name them off the top of your head. There are so many iconic titles on that system, and yet I can't do the same for Sony. And maybe that's because I didn't grow up with Sony as much, but even looking back, I just don't really see a whole lot. I mean, they could bring Crash Bandicoot, but we actually just got the HD remakes of all the Crash Bandicoot games.
More or less, I want to take it aside for a second to say, if they actually do put Pepsi Man on the PS Classic, I'm buying it.
Okay, so
like that would sell it for me instantly.
So there's Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 were your song.
It's 7
exclusive.
It was 7, not 8.
8 was totally on the PS1. What are you talking about?
Oh, on the PS1, yes. That is the only. But I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about what was coming to Switch. So
no, I have no idea.
7, 9, 10, 10 2, and
I don't care what's
12.
Which we're talking about the PS.
But it's relevant though.
How is it relevant? Oh,
because
of the remakes, right?
Yeah, the remakes are coming up, but they're also legit porting them to the Switch, which means that you can take all of these games on the go with you on a console itself and not have to pay like $90 for a crummy little
the
thing.
price tag is
$100
for this piece of nostalgia.
This isn't. That's like saying, "Oh, I've got a, I don't know, I've got a Nintendo 3DS that has Nintendo eShop on it. Because I can play SNES games on the go. Why do I need to buy an SNES Mini?"
I mean, that is actually a very legitimate argument.
I don't think it is, because it's not for. It's marketed towards people. It's the same type of thing with the SNES
marketed machine. This is true
think-
enough, but at the same time, like the argument that I would put forth is, hey, Sony, instead of releasing these, why not just start, doing the thing that literally Xbox and Nintendo just have on you and just start re-releasing, classic titles on your console instead of making a mini and trying to follow Nintendo.
Oh, they've got a lot of classic games on here. A lot of really big ones.
Like, the more that I think about it, the more I'm like, okay, so Kingdom Hearts is definitely not going to be on there because they've re-released.
That's a PS2 game.
Is it PS2? I thought was Kingdom Hearts 1 not?
Kingdom Hearts 1 was PS2.
Okay,
but Spyro the Dragon, Crash Bandicoot,
Spyro and Crash just got remastered. Spyro is getting a remaster. Crash Bandicoot is been remastered, so those two are out. Final Fantasy games are a shoo-in, but they've just been released on the Switch.
Castlevania Night.
They've just announced that they're remaking Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Hold on. I'm getting through the list.
Resident Evil, Metal Gear Solid.
Resident Evil, but that's been on a bunch of consoles.
Resident Evil, like which one?
First 3 actually.
Okay, so the second one is getting remade. Like right now, it's getting remade.
Right, the third one hasn't been touched in a while.
Has already been out. I don't know about the first one.
The original Final Fantasy Tactics, Vagrant Story.
They did have a Castlevania game, but that Castlevania game
Chrono
was
Trigger
also
and
on...
Chrono Cross.
Didn't Chrono Trigger? I thought Chrono Trigger got a port, didn't it?
It was on the SNES.
Okay.
Oh, Legend of the Dragoon. That's what it was. Legend of.
That was a Sega game.
That's one of the classic
that
ones.
Came over. Yeah.
Xenogears.
Gran Turismo.
Oh, did Twisted Metal start on the PS1?
I think it was PS2.
No, Twisted Metal started on the PS1.
Oh man, Twisted Metal is such a great series.
Yeah, I think that's one of the games that you could definitely expect. I mean, right now all we have, like you said, is Final Fantasy VII, Wild Arms, Tekken 3, Ridge Racer, and Jump Flash.
Tactics Over, Diablo, Dragon Quests. Oh god, I couldn't find the other one.
I feel like we're gonna have a lot of racing games and a lot of RPGs.
Yeah, that's basically the PlayStation 1 to a T.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Spyro or Crash Bandicoot as well.
I would like to see Kelowna on there.
Oh, yep. All right. Yeah.
Sorry, I know it's a third tier.
Wait,
yeah.
What?
We'll see. Metal Gear will be on there for sure. But as far as everything else, I'm really not sure. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Here's the interesting part, guys. A lot of people...
we forgot about Tomb Raider.
Yeah, Tomb Raider. I mean, I like the old Tomb Raiders, but the new Tomb Raiders are way better.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's a nostalgia machine, so the point is to play nostalgias.
But was at the time it was exclusive to Sony. Tomb Raider?
I think so.
Yeah, Tomb Raider was exclusive back then.
Yeah, I don't think it got an N64 release or anything.
So I guess Tomb Raider technically count. At the same time, they would. I just don't know. I don't know why. It seems like half of the stuff, and I mean, granted, this is not like Nintendo is not a saint in this. They're re-releasing NES titles for their online subscription package, even though they've already re-released like the NES Mini, like I think it was like 6 waves or something this year.
Yeah,
no one is a saint here. Everyone's doing the same thing. But whenever I look at the listing for the PlayStation Classic, I just think to myself, wow, there's literally one game I see on here that I wanted to play forever, but I'm going to get it on my Switch in like, a few months, and then I'm going to get the remake whenever Squeenix decides to release it.
I mean, that's fine and all, but I don't think you should look at it from that angle. Yeah, you can buy things on the Switch and play them on the Switch. This isn't for people who have a Switch necessarily. This is for people who the way I look at it is, if they want to take a game and make it more available than it already is, more power to them. We got Skyrim on Alexa. That's good, in my opinion.
I mean, it's a joke.
I mean, it's a joke. But if you want to play Skyrim, you can do it on Alexa. You can do it if you want to play Final Fantasy 15. it's not the best version of Final Fantasy 15, but you can play it on a mobile device. You can play it on the Switch now. Um, the fact that these are all more available, that there's only good things that can come from this. It's not like they're forcing us to buy this device and preventing us from getting games otherwise, other than
But
booting up a PS1.
let me ask you a question, Blake. I'm going to ask you a hypothetical question. Right now, this is what we know. Sony has a system coming out this holiday. It's $99. If Nintendo, which remember Nintendo is combating, and they just they had the patent go through, and it was found and leaked about a week or so after the PlayStation Mini was announced. We get word of the N64 Mini. Okay? No one knows when this is going to go. I've predicted on previous podcasts that, hey, I think an N64 Mini is coming. A lot of people do. I think it's going to be coming, though, not in the holiday season. I think that's going to be the thing that helps end their fiscal year really strong. So, like, sometime late February or March, that's when I see that thing coming in, because they really don't have anything in that time gap to help close out their fiscal year, right? For the record, Nintendo's fiscal year, they end it in March. March is the last month of the year. April 1st starts a new fiscal year for them. And so that's why I was thinking that. However, let's say in a week or two, we get word that an N64 Mini is coming out, which, by the way, I'll remind you, with the NES Mini and the Super Nintendo Mini, we found out like a month before their launch. We didn't get a whole lot of time. It was like, oh, hey, this is coming out. Here's all the games. We're not doing pre-orders. Just show up on this day and see if you're lucky enough to get one. That's the way they did it, right?
Sorry. Go ahead. I've got.
So to finish my point, if you're walking in and you see an N64 Mini with 2 controllers for $99, and then right next to it you see a PlayStation 1 Mini Classic with 2 controllers for $99, which one are you going to pick? You don't even have to know what games are on it, because I can guarantee you there are, if they both have the same number of games, let's say they're both 20 games, you're going to find 20 higher quality games that are going to ring a bell and be like, oh my gosh, I love that game. If you're looking at the Nintendo box, you're going to look at it, you're going to see.
I think that's a biased opinion, actually.
I don't think it's a biased opinion. I think it's a very popular opinion.
I don't agree with that. I think the PS1 was actually really successful, and a lot of people like it.
Well, the PlayStation 1 is successful. It's remembered very fondly, but like the thing about
the PlayStation 2 to me is what made Sony huge.
Yeah, like what okay, to go back to what you and Jaden were saying, I can think of 2 things that I know for a fact are like PlayStation exclusive from way back then. Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts didn't even come until the like PlayStation 2, so it's only Final Fantasy.
And then beyond that, I would do Crash and Spyro.
Nostalgic about it, but I haven't seen like fan outcries saying, "Oh my god, I want Tekken 3 re-released, please."
You know what?
I want this esoteric game. Like Pepsi Man legitimately has gotten excited. Like the idea of Pepsi Man being on the classic just for no reason made me more excited than anything that they have announced so far. So,
you know what I would do? You know what I would really be excited for is Sega announces a Saturn Mini and we have a mini console war.
Oh Jesus, yes!
Dude, I'd be down.
I would be so happy. Like, okay, Atari has already put their hat in the ring, and it sucks.
I mean,
yeah. It's true, but that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I can already tell you 5. I can tell you 5 titles right now.
At the same time.
I can tell you 5 titles right now for the N64 that are for sure 100% going to be on the N64 Mini. There's no way you can convince me otherwise.
Super Mario 64.
Super Mario 64, Donkey Kong 64, Super Smash Brothers, the original, Mario Party, one of them, one of the original Mario Parties, and Mario Kart 64.
Yeah.
Like, those are 5 games that are, like, hands down, like, really great games. But I could keep going. I could keep naming games. Wave Race,
I don't know, maybe.
GoldenEye. I mean, there's so many high quality games on N64. So for them,
Oh,
if they're
man.
gonna do a
Pokemon.
mini console, I really feel like hands
I'm
down
really
they're gonna have
upset
the
if
better
they put GoldenEye
library,
on
and
there.
it's gonna justify
Why
the
would you be
price.
upset?
Because GoldenEye takes up the slot of a much better game, I'm sure.
Okay.
GoldenEye does not age well. I mean, it's
Doesn't
no,
matter. It's the
It's an
nostalgia factor. I
game.
literally know people that if the only game on that mini console was GoldenEye, they would buy it. Because back when they were in their college dorm rooms, they had 4 players, split screen. They were playing that game day and night. When they weren't playing Mario Kart, that was the shooter back then. There was also Perfect Dark.
Man, look at these guys with their
Here-
friend stuff. I didn't have
the
those.
thing.
My favorite game was Army Men Sarge's Heroes.
Hey, that's a good game too.
Yeah.
It's true, I guess, but I don't know. I understood that it was kind of yeah, it's an okay game. I
Yoshi
used cheat
Story,
codes.
Paper Mario. I mean,
Yep.
there's
So let's
so
just keep
many
going.
games. And I could keep
there is
going,
one
but I
A
won't.
bunch of Star Wars games I'd like to play again.
There is
Yeah.
one thing that I think people are forgetting with the N64 though, and that is just one simple fact. Are we going to get the horrible, awful 3-pack?
No, those are fine actually.
It's like this is just me personally. I loved my Nintendo 64, absolutely loved it. I always found the controllers to be so awkward.
Oh yeah, they definitely are awkward.
They were just so
Yeah, but those
weird,
controllers would come
yeah.
back for this. I
Um,
mean, simple idea of
and it's just
nostalgia.
like,
actually, most games do a pretty good job of utilizing the controller well. They don't make you use
no.
sections of it at the same time. Usually, it's you hold the middle part and you hold the right hand part, and that's how you play. With the exception of some games like Pokemon, which don't use the analog stick at all, so it's just left and right there.
But see,
It depends on what the game is doing.
My
And
point
that's
is,
kind of nice.
I find-
It
I
is
would-
awkward looking, but it's actually much more comfortable to play
Right.
than people might imagine.
I would find it really interesting to just like get the okay. So say it comes out literally like tomorrow or something, and then you get it and you set it in front of like a teenager and be like, "This is what we played back in the." And he looks at it, he's like, "The heck is this?"
Oh man, Nate, did you ever watch the Game Boy episode?
I did. It
of
made me
kids
feel
react?
so.
Oh yeah,
Oh my god! But it's like, I just really think about that because it is a product of its time. Nowadays, we have someone so like the Joy Cons. I think are, yeah, I think I'm right in saying this. The Joy Cons are the most original controllers to come out in recent years.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like all the rest of them are very, very samey. Like it's like following a path of evolution. Like even the Pro controller. So it's like there is very little in differentiating between them, like than there was way back then.
Yeah.
But it's like it's just a weird point. I'm
Oh,
not
no.
saying it's a negative thing. It's just weird.
I wouldn't buy the N64 Mini unless they have Snowboard Kids 2 on there.
Oh
Heck
god, they need to
yeah.
have Snowboard Kids on there. No joke.
They need to have it on there so it drops the price of the cartridge so I can buy it. That's all
much
I
is
I
want.
mean,
Cartridge.
think about this. We didn't even touch on Zelda.
there, it's
Like, they
like-
could do Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Pokemon Snap, Rogue
Yep.
Squadron, Paper Mario, Donkey Kong 64, Mario Party,
the
Star
Empire.
Fox 64, the
Star
greatest one of the
Fox.
series, Mario Golf, Mario Tennis. I mean, there's so many titles that you can do on an N64
just-
Mini. That honestly, you're gonna have to leave off some games, and some people will be disappointed because they're like, "Oh man, they had to cut that one off to put these other games on there. That sucks." Oh well, you know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
then the mothers get to it, and no one cares.
yeah.
Never mind, the price isn't as bad as I
hey,
thought.
you know what I would do if I'm Nintendo?
Yep.
I make 2 N64 Minis. Okay,
Why two?
here we go. Imagine if you go to a store and you had to pick between the original gray, or you could pick between one of the crystal colors. And the crystal color ones have different games on them. So they had 20 games on one, 20 games on another to complete a library.
I don't think I would totally welcome if they did just a lean version of it or something like that, but having shading completely destroy the experience and also infuriate customers.
Yeah, I know. That's not going to
man.
happen. But I'm just saying, I'm walking out paying $200 to have both. That's me.
Can I what?
Oh, I was just thinking more about the N64 Mini Man. You know, if they put Pokemon Stadium 1 or 2 on there, that would be the worst experience.
Oh my
Because
god!
they wouldn't
yeah.
have the slot to put a Game Boy game in.
What if
so
they
like half the features
so
blocked out,
we know that
and you
they've
won't be
been
able to.
we know that they've been reprogramming NES games to have online functionality. What if they reprogram the original Pokemon Stadium to have connectivity to Let's Go for the Switch?
That would
man.
be impressive.
Actually, that would be kind of cool. I don't know how it would work, but that'd be
obviously
cool.
you could only do Gen 1, obviously. But since that game is mostly Gen 1, I mean, that would work.
How
You'd
would
be able
the
to.
Game Boy Player function work?
Well, that you wouldn't be able to play the Game Boy Player. You wouldn't need to. You have the Switch, right? But you
What would they
could
do with
move,
that
like you
tower,
could
then?
migrate parties over and play with your parties on N64. I think that'd be cool.
I mean, yeah, but there's a section. There's an entire section of the game map that's dedicated to this Game Boy Player tower. What are they going to do with it if it's completely non-functional?
Yeah, I don't know.
Nintendo doesn't like leaving things in like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, hey, speaking of Nintendo, there is one confirmed, well, not really confirmed, but it seems very likely console change that's coming. And we're about to talk about that. It looks like the long-rumored revision 2 of the Switch is finally coming.
Thank God. It's about time. I've been waiting for this.
But will it be what you think it is?
I don't know. We don't know. There's
probably
lots of
not.
speculation. Now, from what I've been reading, this comes from the Wall Street Journal. They're basically saying that the suppliers and the distributors are coming up and saying, hey, this is happening for sure. The Wall Street Journal reported this in saying that, hey, what kind of upgrades could we see? And, you know, what is kind of the game plan here? And from what the article reads is that we're going to see potentially increased internal storage, increased RAM is what I'm thinking. One of the main areas of focus the article mentions is actually a newer, thinner bezel and LCD screen that has higher quality and better resolution for on-the-go play. I could see that being a possibility. And then the other thing being is, hey, do they include a dock with the new system, or do they like basically scale down the dock, make a smaller dock, make that a little bit simpler? How does that all go in? How does that work? There's kind of a couple of different, basically mind-turning things. Some people are saying it could be like the new 3DS and have exclusive software. There's lots of rumors being tossed around with this article being published. And let's see. One of the things that caught my eye, though, the most, okay, is that according to the suppliers and distributors, this second revision of the Nintendo Switch is actually going to determine what they do with the 3DS. If they make a new 3DS line, or something like similar to the 3DS, do we see this happening, right? Do we see them making another handheld to go alongside the Nintendo Switch, like we have been this entire time?
Return the dual screen.
Based on, you know, the performance of this new system, that's kind of what they're saying, that Nintendo is waiting to see how this all plays off with that. I don't know. That seems like a stretch to me, but that is what they're reporting, saying that could be something that we see. Nintendo is expected to hit 20 million units by the end of their fiscal year. I don't see that being a problem with Pokemon and Smash being here. But what I will say is that the likelihood of them going over 20 million is very slim. I think 20 million is kind of on the spot. And while that is a great number in just 2 years, you have to ask yourself, if we really want to continue to, you know, go, you know, to the next level to try to compete with Sony or to catch up with the giant that PlayStation has become, you know, what are we going to do? What are we going to try to go and do to make this so much better. So that's kind of what we're seeing. The suppliers and everyone are saying this is they have direct knowledge of the plan. The specifics of of the hardware and the features are still not there. The new version will be completely compatible and existing with existing Switch accessories and software. But what does that terminology remind you of? To me, that terminology reminds me a lot of the new 3DS, or the Xbox One X, if you will. But yeah, guys, what do you guys think about all this? There's definitely a lot to this. We could see a battery life increase. That could be another huge change. But what are your thoughts?
I think it's going to have I think there's a chance that they may make it more of a clamshell design. They will put a backlight in it.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
He's saying they're going to make a 3DS.
I know, I'm messing with him.
No, actually, that was the Game Boy XP.
The Switch XP. It flips open now
Actually,
with a protective cover.
Can you imagine it? So right now, phones, there's a bunch of rumors circulating about
bendable
the first
LEDs.
foldable phones with foldable screen.
Oh, dude, that would be cool. That would be cool if Nintendo was the first company to utilize a foldable screen like that.
Switch. Whatever first foldable screen devices in Nintendo.
I mean, Nintendo has been pretty innovative. That would be sweet. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't want to get my hopes up.
That would be super weird.
It would be weird. But honestly, I just want just maybe a slight redesign. Just a slight one. I don't really want much.
I think I don't think the answer is to limit software, but if you want me, someone who already owns a Switch, to be interested, increase battery life, internal storage, and memory.
Internal storage. Sure.
That would be great. I think all of those would be great. I mean, if you can make that in a thinner bezel or improve the quality of the screen, that'd be awesome. One of the things that made that made the Game Boy Advance SP or later models of that was the 4-screen and backlit screens, and how bright and vibrant they are, and that's one thing I really like about the Switch. But if you could make that even better, even more touch responsive, and even smoother, that'd be great. I also think too they're gonna have to keep costs down. You can't raise cost on the Switch. If you raise your cost, that's when you start losing sales to Xbox and Sony, because Sony being a competitor right there at $299 for a top tier console with way more games than the Nintendo Switch, and a way larger amount of people playing those, right? And so for me, it's kind of like, hey, if you have $300 up until now, I would choose to buy a PlayStation probably before I buy a Switch. That's just the truth. Like, sorry. Looking at it, that's the truth. Like, that's what I would be buying, would be a PlayStation. Now, I mean, they're going to have Smash Brothers. They're going to have Mario Party tomorrow. They're going to have Pokemon. Like, those are things that keep me interested in the product that Nintendo's delivering. But, I mean, we'll see. We'll see kind of how things are going, how they're going to play off with this console. But the question is it going to be enough of a change to make fans upset or happy? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to make it so great. Like when the new 3DS came out, I felt like a lot of people who were buying the 3DS were upset because the new 3DS having the built-in Amiibo reader and having in the analog stick and things like that, those actually kind of upset some people because those are things that they wanted for a long time, and they just bought their consoles within a year or so, and now we had a new system. I don't want anything like that to happen. round 2 with this new system. But we do know the reason that this is happening is not just to increase boost in sales, but also to help combat the hacking that is happening with the current console.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my god. Like, honestly, the hacking thing is definitely a very large push for this, but
can they really do anything about that on the? I don't think so.
So
no, they
how
can't.
the hardware hack is working is on the right side of the Switch. Basically, whenever you go to clip in that right Joy-Con, there is like a little thing or like a little area where your right Joy-Con will like clip into, like basically plugs in to charge your. It's actually when you remove the Joy-Con, it closes. It's like a little door that closes, but when that Joy-Con is on your Switch, that door opens, and inside there, it's really easy to tamper with. It's really easy to hack that hardware, and so I think they're going to close that off to ensure that there's no one able just to hack the physical hardware that way, because that's how people are doing it right now. You can pretty much get straight into the system BIOS by doing that.
That does make sense. It's just more along the lines of, I really think they're going to do something about the issue. Like, it's not a very big issue, but I could just see them putting, like, maybe the back of the tablet is metal or something like that. They could be announcing it as like a plus version or something that's more durable or something like that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a slight modification that gives it more protection from the dock. That's the main thing. That's it. Is there anything else really? I mean, aside that, and some people had consoles that's a no.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the main things. I think there were more things that I had problems with before, but I don't remember what it is now.
More or less, yeah. There's problems to be had, but I really can't think of much.
I know that as long as they do just a couple of minor hard updates, then that's all I want. Really, I would be all for a screen that uses less battery, like more battery efficient system. That would always be nice. Maybe a kickstand that works. That'd
Yeah,
be nice.
so they could easily, make that kickstand a lot better. Make it either wider or make it have like a bar in the back that stretches the other side. So when it actually pops out, it's a lot wider of a kickstand. I think that would be great. Maybe moving the charge port, right? The charge port in the dock have been always controversial because the way it's set now is like, yeah, it's great. It's on the bottom because you could just plug that right in. It's charging. But if you formulate the docking system, make it smaller, make it cheaper, easier to manufacture, and you move that charge port from the bottom maybe somewhere else, then you're actually opening the potential for people to actually utilize that kickstand and charge their system at the same time, which is something a lot of fans want.
That was another issue. That's just a bad design choice on their part for that. If they could fix that, that'd be nice. That way people have the ability to comfortably charge their device without having to either hold it or put it in the dock. Kickstand actually becomes useful. That's a feature that I would love to see used. It'd be a nice feature to have. I like the idea that I can just hold the controllers and I have a little tiny screen that I can just play games on. It's just sitting over there. But all the problems with that make it more. Yeah, the kickstand wasn't well thought out.
Yeah, for sure.
It could have been a little more durable, that's for sure. But the
durability and the place where the charger port is at.
Yes, that is one thing that they definitely should change, I think, or just add one on the top, just with like one on the top, one on the bottom, so then you have a secondary option of where to put it.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else you guys want to add? I think we covered all of our topics here.
You think?
I think so. I'm double checking. I think we touched on everything. We didn't touch on the Nintendo Switch Online launch. It seems to be off to a pretty weak start. I think Nintendo's hoping to make it a little bit stronger. They did announce that they will be having a Splatoon 2 Halloween Splatfest with new clothes and apparel and things like that. And so that may have a lot of Splatoon fans go ahead and bite the bullet on their, on their Nintendo Online service. There's a lot of rumors circling that around the time of the special edition Nintendo Switch, the Smash Bros. Version coming the first weekend of first weekend of November, just a month away from now, that we're going to have a new Smash Direct or close to that time announcing a Smash demo for that same weekend. So people can go, they could buy their special edition Nintendo Switch, and then they can go home and actually play it that weekend in like a test Smash. That's something we've kind of talked about, hey, is this possible to happen? But now there's actually a lot of rumors that are floating around that actually might be the case.
Yep.
So I'm hoping they're right. I really am, because I would honestly love that. I think it would be a lot of fun. But yeah, that is kind of where we are at. Do you guys have anything else you guys want to touch on? Oh, we do have new NES games coming in Nintendo Switch Online here on the 10th.
A few, yeah. Not many, though. Like, Luigi's
3.
Mansion is what caught.
Huh? I'm talking about the NES games. I think
the NES.
you're talking about the Direct. You weren't with us to talk about the Direct. Because we did our live reaction, but you weren't with us. What did you think about the Direct, Nate?
Oh, I was kind of like, oh, okay, this is why they're producing them for the 3DS, because they're convinced like 3DS owners to go to the Switch or whatnot. Because it just seemed a little bit like a play to me. Like, hey, we were going to make these remakes of games you really like. So I guess we're just going to put these on the 3DS and try to convince people to jump to a Switch because we're making the third one.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's a good sales tech.
Yeah.
It is, and a lot of people own a 3DS, so I'm sure that 3DS owners will be happy to get Luigi's Mansion. I'll end up picking it up just because I love Luigi's Mansion. I've been like whistling the dang main theme of it since I was I think whatever age I was when it came out. How old I was when Luigi's Mansion came.
Yeah, I have no idea.
2000, so I had to have been like a wee babu of like 11 or 12.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
All right. I mean, I'm excited about a lot of those titles. I think they're going to be great. So we'll see how everything plays out. But I think that's pretty much all the time we have, all the topics we have to cover for now. But there's always more news around the corner, so make sure you guys tune in right here over at Info Arcade. Check out our monthly Info Cascade podcast, streaming to you live once a month right here on Facebook. Also follow us on our other social media channels. Those are right over there across the screen. You guys can see there is a way for you guys to go ahead and basically access all of us from different ways. Whether that be YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever that is, whatever the easiest platform for you guys to get involved with, please do. I encourage that. Love to have you guys over there. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff to these channels over here. Also, quick shout out to our sponsor, TechniSport USA. Sitting in this chair right now. Guys, this chair is super comfortable, and I'm super excited to be affiliated with them, partnered with them, and I want you guys to have a nice chair for your caboose, all right? It's not every day that, actually it is like every day where you guys are either raiding, fighting goblins on World of Warcraft or whatever it is, or maybe, you're shooting noobs and trying to get some chicken dinner, whatever it is. Find yourself doing it in a TechniSport. I promise you that gaming experience is going to be a lot more comfortable, a lot more enjoyable. It's got these adjustable pillows for lumbar support in the back and in the neck right here, so you can actually make this super comfortable. You can kind of lean back, get cozy. So highly recommend you check it out. And if you guys do, use code InfoArcade, give yourself 10% off. I promise you guys will like it. And once you guys pick up a technique, you guys seriously aren't gonna want to sit in any chair. I mean, didn't you guys came over to my house one day and we were playing Xbox. We're in the living room on the couch, and you guys are like, I think I'm going to wheel that chair out here. Who was that? Was that Nate that did that, or Blake?
It was almost certainly Nate. That sounds like a very Nate.
I'm pretty sure it was a Nate thing. He's like, I'm going to wheel that chair out there because it's just comfy.
I'm going to go get the chair. And I got the chair. It was a good day.
So
It was a good chair.
So that's definitely something that we're really grateful for, really happy to be a part of, and we would love for you guys to find yourself at one too. We don't just say this because we're affiliated with him. We literally say it because it's actually a product we like. We wouldn't advertise a product we don't like. So make sure you guys check them out. Anyway, that's about all the time we have, guys. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys check this out. If you missed any part of this, it's going to be on video on demand. You guys can go back, watch it. Any of it, leave a comment below. Let us know what you liked hearing about today, whether it was the PlayStation. Are they late to the party when it comes to crossplay? Are they coming in just the right amount of time? You guys be the decision makers there. Or, hey, how's EA still a company at this point? Tell us your opinion on that. Or, hey, what do you guys think about the new classic minis, the rumors around the N64 and the Nintendo Switch revision? We want to know all your opinions. Tell us in the comments. We will. He always says buy our shirt. We don't have any shirts for sale right now. But we will have more. Shirts when they become available. We will have more of our shirts available here in the coming weeks. Actually, let me see if I can pull it up real quick for you guys. Hold on.
Well, he's doing that. I think we already talked about it, but later this year, lots of stuff to be excited for. We got the year's ending soon in the next few months, and that means Game Awards, and that means we're going to bring a reaction direct to you. And, of course, we're probably also going to have a little game celebration of our own. I believe that last year, and that went really well, and I enjoyed that a lot.
He's a
Yeah, right. I don't want to play anymore.
No,
I'm done.
Okay.
Bye.
Well.